キャンプイン後、週末から始まるカクタスリーグに向けて続々と選手たちの集結と調整が進んでいるようです。ロサンゼルス地元放送局もキャンプの様子を危機として報じています。本日も現地放送局を翻訳してお届けいたします。
1 week from today, Cactus League play begins for the World Series champions. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Access Sportsnet Dodgers. I'm John Hartung. Jerry and I are going to be off to Camelback Ranch as soon as this show is done. But in the meantime, we've got a lot to discuss about Day 4 in Glendale, Arizona, including the opening day starter Yoshinobu Yamamoto, speaking for the first time since getting tabbed to take the mound in Tokyo. We'll hear from Yoshi on the honor and his high expectations for year 2 in the majors. Plus, who wouldn't want to be a part of the franchise that's won 2 World Series titles in the last 5 seasons? Dave Roberts says the Dodgers are the epicenter of baseball, and he's right, as LA is the place for a chance to win it all. Speaking of winning, how about a chance for a 3rd ring for Clayton Kershaw? We'll hear from Kersh on year 18. Looking forward to another possible parade. It's Access Sportsnet Dodgers. Let's go. Hi, everybody. Welcome inside. Joined tonight by Jerry Harrison Jr., David Bassett. I just love seeing those clips of Clayton Kershaw. He was so emotional at that rally. He wanted to have a parade for such a long time. We heard him say, 2-time champ, a lot more coming. And if so, he's going to be a part of it officially, Jerry.
I just love the emotion that he showed. I mean, years, obviously, of frustration in the postseason. They finally win it in 2020. They don't get a parade. He got his parade, and he let everybody know he was coming back.
I've never seen him that emotional before. Hopefully he can ride that emotion into spring training, and him coming back is certainly to a certain extent a little FOMO. He doesn't want to miss out, and that's why he went to great lengths to be there.
All right, well, speaking of his return, the reports started surfacing a couple days ago, and then we saw Clayton Kershaw on the fields at Camelback Ranch. Today, the Dodgers did make it official, signing the 3-time Cy Young Award winner and former NL MVP to a 1-year contract, $7.5 million with incentives and bonuses. Kersh was limited to just 7 games last season, started late because of shoulder surgery, then went down with knee and foot issues, had surgery on both of them in November. He'll join an already loaded pitching staff at some point later this season. Clayton will continue to add to his Hall of Fame-worthy career numbers. Franchise leader in WAR and strikeouts, 2nd in wins, 21 behind Don Sutton, also 2nd in WHIP. He is 3rd in starts, 5th in innings pitched. Oh yeah, also, as we heard him say, a 2-time World Series champ. Here's Kersh today in Arizona about coming back for year 18.
Yeah, it's good. It's timing worked out to get back, and it was good for both sides. I think, go through an off season, see how your rehab goes, and make sure everything's going kind of the way you want it to, and feel like it is, which is good. And yeah, it worked out. Excited to be back.
What for you was, I guess, just the most telling thing coming after surgery, just knowing that your body's in a good spot to return?
I mean, honestly, the foot surgery has been hard. It's just not an easy process. Like, walking's been hard and all that stuff, but finally started turning the corner a few weeks ago, and being able to throw and all those things, and it feels actually like it hasn't felt this way in a while, so that's good. And the knee's been fine, so I think really within the last month, I kind of knew that it was going to turn the corner at some point.
You were still trying to, late into the season last year, push to come back. Were you surprised once you had the surgery, how severe the injury was and kind of how long this process has been?
I knew I messed up my foot pretty good, but it was, I think the rehab's just been, with shoulder, you can still walk and do a lot of stuff. And I was back to being like a normal dad pretty quick, but being on crutches, being in a boot, having every step kind of hurt. It was hard. So I don't know if I expected all that a foot surgery entails, but thankful now to kind of be on the other side, and feel like I'm getting closer to being 100%.
Where are you at in the progression at this point? Is it
long toss? Yeah. Probably Pens at some point next month would be my guess. My goal is, go on the 60-day, obviously, but hopefully right around when the 60-day time's up, that I'll be getting close to being back.
Obviously, you spent last year rehabbing a lot. This year, kind of going through it again. At this stage of your career, with everything you've already done, why are you putting yourself through this again?
I don't know. Why do you still do it, Dylan? I think
because I can't. I need the money.
No, I think Yeah, I mean, look, I hope this is the last time I ever have to rehab. I'm kind of done with that. But at the same time, I don't want that to be the reason that I stop playing. You know, I don't want to be like, I just can't do it and hurt. You know, so hopefully I can walk out on my own terms whenever that is. But it just didn't kind of feel like it was the right time. You know, even though we won, you know, being on the shelf for that wasn't the way that I had scripted it out. And so still super thankful to be a part of it last year and to get to see everything. But you know, I want to be out there when it happens, and so that was a good motivating factor for sure.
Yeah, and Clayton was out there and very instrumental in the Dodgers winning their first World Series title in 32 years when he had 4 postseason wins in 2020, went 2-0 in the Fall Classic. Injuries, of course, kept him out of that 2024 October run, DV, but now he's back, and we just heard him say he wants to be on the field for another World Series run.
Well, I'm on the same page as Dylan Hernandez. I do this for the money as well, or I retire right now. But for Kershaw, it makes sense. He's so stubborn and definitely wants things done his way. And injuries are not going to send him out of this game if he's able to recover from those injuries. Major shoulder surgery 2 off seasons ago, now the left knee, the left foot. He wants to go out on his own terms, and that's the type of guy he is.
Absolutely, and I'm so glad that he is back here in Dodger Blue. He said it at the parade there at the rally, Dodger for life. And, you know, his wife, Ellen, and his kids, they are all on board. They love the city of L.A. They love playing for the Dodgers. And when your whole family is on board and has your back, that is so reassuring to players. I know Clayton Kershaw is anxious to get back, but I think more importantly, he needs to understand, and I know he does, the most important thing is he's healthy for the second half, so he's available. And really being Clayton Kershaw in that postseason. So they're going to slow play him, make sure he's completely fine when he does take the hill at Dodger Stadium.
Ever since he came up, he's always been compared to Sandy Koufax. Well, this is where the crossroads come, the fork in the road, because after the 1966 World Series, Sandy Koufax was forced to retire because of an arthritic pitching elbow. So Kershaw's not going out, as of now, the same way.
Yeah, and he talked about it when the pandemic hit in 2020. He realized just how much he missed the game when they had all those months where he wasn't allowed to pitch. And I think that's another reason why he wants to continue doing it. He loves the game, and he loves to be out there competing. Today at Camelback Ranch, Dave Roberts was asked about the impact of Clayton Kershaw returning for year 18.
Well, there's a reason why Blake Snell wanted his locker right next to Clayton's, right? That's what he means to this clubhouse, this organization. Even Clayton being around has been really uplifting, positive, I think, for him and for the players. Knowing he's going to come back, I think we're all excited. And as we've seen, baseball, certainly pitching, plays itself out in a lot of different ways. So to know that we've got him in our back pocket is pretty exciting.
Did he do anything during the postseason to help you guys behind the scenes?
He obviously traveled with us. I'm sure there were a lot of behind-the-scenes conversations that he was having with our players. So not specifically, but not that he would want it to be noted anyway, but he was certainly additive.
Well, if D-Train were here, he would probably say there's a lot of mileage on that Ferrari, but that Ferrari also has a lot of baseball knowledge. Clayton Kershaw certainly has that, Jerry. Even a veteran like Blake Snell has said he wants to learn from Kershaw. He wanted his locker to be right next to Clayton's. At this point, Clayton's a lot more than just a pitcher. He's someone the younger guys can really learn from. He's very much a role model as well.
And you listen, you see Clayton Kershaw right there. Obviously, he is not throwing on the mound. He is there observing his teammates, and if anything he can see and talk to, whether it's Blake Snell or the rest of you, especially the young guys, they can learn from a Clayton Kershaw how to set up hitters, how to throw a certain pitch. I remember last year, he helped Yamamoto with his curveball. Obviously, Clayton from the left side, Yamamoto from the right. Just different grips can go a long way to help these young guys really improve on their career.
And remember, in Milwaukee last year, he was on the bench. He wasn't pitching that day. He was still healthy. And he caught the Brewers base runner missing second base. Right. So he was locked in. He's locked in even when he's not pitching. So him just being around is a huge value. The work ethic and him, like I said, the ultimate, right? In that game in Milwaukee, was able to get an out and get the Dodgers out of an inning.
I got off to a really slow start one year in Chicago. You know the one guy who helped me out? Greg Maddux, because he saw how pitchers were setting me up. They throw it way in so I could pull it foul. Guess what? I'm down 0-1. He goes, bruh, take that pitch. You'll be sitting 1-0. I started doing that. I caught fire. Greg Maddux,
right.
Pitcher, observing the game.
That's right. All those really smart guys, cerebral guys, and there's a big reason why they're going to be heading to the Hall of Fame. Maddux already there. Clayton will be at some point. The Dodgers offseason got off to a great start with Tommy Edman's extension and then that signing of two-time Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell. We've discussed Snell pretty much in every show since the day he signed. Dave Roberts has talked about Snellzilla a lot as well, and here's why.
He is a next-level thinker. I've had some really good conversations. I think up to this point, the best conversations I've had in spring have been with Blake. He's very in tune with who he is as a person, as a pitcher. He's really anxious to work and watch Clayton and how Clayton does his work and how he's been so great for so long. For me, it's just talking baseball with him, talking hitters. He's in the cage watching hitters prepare, which I like that, you know, and a lot of pitchers don't do that as well.
Blake's been very just open about wanting to really build a relationship with Bobby Miller and be a mentor to someone like him. How valuable could that be for a player like Bobby, especially just coming off the challenges he had last year?
It's going to, I mean, I can't even, Huge is not even doing that justice because Blake initiated this relationship. And I actually asked Blake myself, I said, how did that manifest? And he just said, I see Bobby in myself. And so he's never done that with a player, really, to try to take him under his wing and mentor him. So that's exciting for all of us. And obviously we know how talented Bobby is, but to have a peer, a guy that's won Cy Youngs, want to kind of really personally invest in him, I just think there's only great upside for both players, right? And for the organization as a whole.
DV, as you know, we like to joke around about your bromance with Blake Snell. You know him better than we do. And we just heard Doc, he had a lot to say about Snellzilla. But in your mind, is he one of those guys that just sees the game differently like a lot of the greats do, whether we're talking about Clayton Kershaw or Greg Maddux like Jerry brought up?
John, a bromance?
Yes, that's what it is.
Well, because I want to learn from the best in the game.
There
and
you
he
go.
is one of the best. And now the Dodgers are finding out what I already knew. He is a next-level baseball thinker. Even though he only drinks Shirley Temples, he knows what he's doing when it comes to baseball. And he can read hitters' swings. We've heard Kershaw talk about that all the time in games. And he just understands who he is at this stage of his career. He's not up all night just playing video games. And there was a time last year in Milwaukee, I was with Kershaw. All of a sudden, Snellzilla is FaceTiming me because he had pitched as well. And I passed the phone to Kershaw, and he wanted to know what did Kershaw think about my game that night. Kershaw said, I had my own game to worry about. I wasn't watching what you thought.
First of all, why are you so defensive? I mean, what John said,
embrace the bromance.
Yeah, what John said was completely accurate. Everybody there, that 25 million viewers every single night know that you have a bromance with.
And it's
Blake.
okay.
It's great. It's not okay. It's great.
I learn at the altar of the best.
If that helped him bring Blake here to the Dodgers, more power to you. But listen, it is important to have veteran guys that are accomplished, like a Blake Snell. Take a young guy like Bobby Miller under his wing. That is so huge. Because, listen, pitching coaches can help. Even guys like Mark Pryor, who was a great pitcher in his own right, but he's now a coach. When you have your own teammate kind of walking you through things you should try, things you can do to help your game go to the next level, these players and pitchers listen to that.
And think about where Blake was when he was coming up in Bobby's situation. He was with the Rays surrounded by other young pitchers. He never had a guy like Blake Snell or Clayton Kershaw that was accomplished that could teach these young guys.
If you were to FaceTime him in the next block, do you think he would pick up?
He sent me to voicemail just 5 minutes ago.
Big surprise.
He's changed.
There is no place we would rather be, and that's obvious for the players as well. Shohei Ohtani won his first World Series ring in his first season with the Dodgers, and this offseason, the Dodgers landed the top international free agent in Roki Sasaki. Here's Doc on the Dodgers' place in the world.
We are the epicenter of baseball. I do believe that. I had a chance to play with Hideo, obviously with Kazuhisa Ishii. I know Kazmatsui. I had a chance to play against Godzilla. So I know a lot of these guys, right? To see kind of how the Japanese player has come over, there's more of them, had the success that they've had. I think it's really exciting, and there's a reason why the best want to play in the major leagues. I think their experiences, even Kenta Maeda, having Kenta here, getting to know him, their experiences here in the States playing for the Dodgers has been truly a good one. And I think it's a responsibility for the Dodgers because I do think we are the epicenter globally for baseball, and it's exciting.
Certainly is exciting, certainly to be here with the Dodgers. Last offseason, Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto both chose to sign with the Dodgers. Then this offseason, you get Roki Sasaki, Haesung Kim here to L.A. Jerry, Doc is just stating really the obvious around Major League Baseball and around the world. This is where it's at in terms of Major League Baseball with this Dodgers team.
I'm going to take it a step further. I think the Dodgers are the epicenter of the sports world, okay, especially in North America. You got the L.A. brand. The LA Dodgers, it's a historic franchise. Now we are really starting to enter, in my opinion, probably the next 10 years or so, a unique opportunity to run off several championships. You have the best athlete in the world in Shohei Ohtani. You got so many stars, pitching side, player position side, all walks of life. This is the epicenter of the sports world in North America.
It's to the point now where the Dodgers have to tell players no. How many teams can say that? The Lakers are one of them. The Dodgers are now on that level where every player that's available, whether they're still with a team or they're a free agent, want to come play for the Dodgers. So it's to a point where they have to start telling guys, sorry, we don't have room, we're stacked.
Well, no Dodger fans are out there saying sorry to any of the other fans out there who are complaining about, oh, the Dodgers, this is unfair what you're doing to Major League Baseball. Just a great time to soak it all in here in Los Angeles. Dave Roberts has already touted Yoshinobu Yamamoto as the opening day starter back in his home country of Japan. Yamamoto coming off a great October in which he beat the Padres in that winner-take-all game of the NLDS, then pitched well against the Mets in the NLCS, beat the Yankees in Game 2 of the World Series. Today, Yoshi talked with the media for the first time this spring.
It's because this is my second year, so it's a little more comfortable. And then I'd like to enjoy and then utilize this 1 month spring training, and then get myself ready, and then get into the season and win the world champion again.
Dave Roberts said that you were slated to pitch in Game 1 of the Tokyo series. Just what does that mean to you?
Because I'm very looking forward to it, and then be able to have that. To pitch, perform at the Japanese ballpark again. And then I'd like to get myself ready at the best and then be ready for it.
You obviously missed some time last year. Have you changed anything in your routine to kind of make sure that you stay healthy the whole season?
I haven't really changed much difference because of what happened last year. And then, however, I still just review how I was, what happens last year. And then I just like getting myself ready for the season.
When you had success last year, what were the things that you thought were most important and what you could do to have that happen a little more consistently this season?
I got to learn a lot from experience, all the experience last year. Then that kind of it helped me to adjust what I, because what I was doing before and what I needed to do. So I think that's why.
Your interpreter showed up to camp in great shape. What do you think?
山本さんの通訳が結構シェイプアップしてキャンプ臨んでるんですけど、そこはどう思われますか？
リバウンドを心配してます。
That's great about that. I'm worried about that rebound.
So maybe Hero won't be able to defend his chicken wing eating championship on Monday there in Arizona after he won it last year. But there's no more learning curve, DV, for Yoshinobu, despite this shoulder injury, which knocked him out for about 3 months last year. Really adjusted well in his rookie season. He pitched into October, pitched well in the World Series. Now he's going to be the opening day starter back home in Japan. And I imagine he has expectations of taking another big leap forward.
He came to Dodger Fest with a lot of swag and a lot of confidence, a lot different than what we saw a year ago, and that's only natural, right? He knows what to expect. Yeah. He was brand new to all of this last year, and now he understands what it takes to pitch a full season. You know, in Japan, when there's a road game, the starting pitcher only shows up to the city the day he's pitching. In Major League Baseball, as you guys know, they go everywhere. So those type of things he needed to adjust to. And man, Hero needs to get more confidence, just like Yamamoto.
He'll get there. You know, he's working out. He's making sure his body will be there. Once you solidify your body, that's a great foundation. You'll get where you need to be. But back to Yamamoto. That first year, his rookie year, yes, he was so accomplished in Japan, but when you go to the big leagues, there's a learning curve, and he found out right away. His very first start, he's got to make sure he locates that fastball, have fastball command to go along with his other plus pitches. But yes, he has some swag because now he knows not only what to expect, but I can have success here, and I can continue to get better and better. He is just entering his prime. You got to remember, he's just 25, 26 years young, so he's got a lot of years left.
Certainly does, and what a big difference that first start in Korea against the Padres, where he lasted just 1 inning, to that last start against the Yankees in Game 2 of the World Series. Here are some upcoming dates to mark on your calendar. Saturday, the full squad will be officially in camp. 1 week from today, the Cactus League opener, the first of 20 games in Arizona. The regular season begins March 18th with that 2-game Tokyo series against the Chicago Cubs. Then back to SoCal for the Freeway Series with the Angels before March 27th. Game on for the home opener against the Detroit Tigers. Today is officially day 3 of workouts at Camelback Ranch, and we saw starting pitchers taking their first bullpen really on day 1. We know everything in spring, Jerry, is about gearing up for the regular season. We also know that baseball ops for the Dodgers, the coaches, they're very detail-oriented. So how much do you think they have scripted out this spring in terms of what the pitchers are going to be doing so that they're ready to go for when they're going to be pitching in regular season
They
games?
have the script. Obviously, they know exactly what they want to do with each and every pitcher, whether it's the starter or the relievers. But as spring training rolls around, they're going to have to deviate because some guys may have some soreness. Some guys may need a day or two to recover from a start. So you're always kind of maneuvering your script, so to speak, but it's always a good thing or a great thing to have a plan in place. You need to have a plan in place now. For a guy like a Shohei Ohtani, they're going to make sure they have their script to make sure that he's where he needs to be, whether it's early May, late May, when he gets back on the mound in the big leagues.
Every player and pitcher have told me since Andrew Friedman took over, they let me be myself. And that means that you don't treat every pitcher on the same plan because they're all at different points in their body and in their preparation. You think back to some of the guys that were on the team last year. They pitched longer and deeper into a season because of the World Series than they ever had before. So to me, that's kind of the slow ramp up, especially now where you have to turn around and start quicker than anybody else.
Well, and many of the players arrived in Arizona in the days right after Dodger Fest. In fact, the full squad doesn't have to report until this Saturday, but as we've seen, a lot of them, DV, whether it's Mookie and Freddie, Muncy, and there are many others as well, they're already in Arizona getting their work in.
Yeah, why not? It's raining here in LA. Might as well get to Arizona and get some reliable weather out there. And look, things have changed. Guys like Conforto and Kike Hernandez, to name a few, live there during the offseason, so that is home for them.
Yeah, another thing, too, is a lot of these guys that were there early here in camp would work out at Dodger Stadium. They would be home in L.A. I know Mookie Betts lives here in the L.A. area. He would be at Dodger Stadium, but because Dodger Stadium is still being worked on, they got to Arizona early to make sure they got their work in. But again, I don't care if you're a young player or a veteran player, you know really what you need to get ready for a season. Certainly guys like Mookie Betts, Kike, and the rest of the guys.
And plus, knowing that games begin a week from today, a lot of these guys have wanted to get to Arizona early to get their work going. Usually a non-roster invitee doesn't have great odds to make a roster, especially as stacked as this Dodgers roster is, Jerry. But you have Roki Sasaki this year. Obviously, that's a unique situation. For most of the non-roster invitees in camp, what is really their objective this spring?
Make an impression. Make an impression, learn, and you never know what's down the line, because if you make that impression in spring training, whether you're a pitcher or a position player, they will remember you. So if something happens with the big league club, they'll say, hey, what happened to that kid that we had in spring training who went off offensively, or who came in and really dealt on the mound? How's he doing in AA or AAA? He's having a good season. You know what? Let's call him up. Spring training is more important for the young players, because the veteran players know what they need, whether it's at bats or pitches, to get ready for a long season. It's these young guys making sure they make and leave an impression.
And when you talk about non-roster invitees, it's not just the young guys that are getting their first experience at big league camp. There's some veterans that make the team in that situation. I think back to Jamie Wright, who's now one of the coaches. That's how he got on the Dodgers and was a big leader for them in the bullpen. And I'm looking at 65 there, Giovanni Gallegos, who's an established veteran. When you look at the Dodger bullpen and injuries to Evan Phillips and Michael Kopech, all of a sudden now, there's 2 spots open, and I'm looking at Gallegos and I'm looking at Michael Grove to make an impression to win those 2 jobs, 2 spots.
Justin Turner a non-roster?
That's right.
Certainly was.
There we go, Jay Hare.
Back in the day. All right, so our final camp note really is away from baseball. So, Davey, I'm going to begin with you. What's your favorite thing about spring training that doesn't involve baseball?
Wow, the deep dish pizza, or just pizza in general in Phoenix, a very underrated city for pizza, number of spots there. And of course, I get to see my guy, the Prince of the Desert, Andre Ethier.
The Prince of the Desert.
Really?
Now.
For me, I get a chance, especially when I was a player late in my career. I lived in Arizona, so I got a chance to sleep in my own bed. Spring training in Arizona is way better than Florida, because in Florida, it seemed like you had to travel sometimes 8-10 hours for a game. In Arizona, sometimes 20 minutes. Sometimes 30 to go play a big league game.
Davey, he's a Chicago guy. We like deep dish pizza. So what's the spot? I mean, if you're going to tell us, because we're heading out tonight.
Well, it would have to go to Giordano's out there.
Okay, that's a Chicago spot.
Lou Malnati's is really good.
That's a good spot.
Really, both are great.
Cactus League play gets underway 1 week from today, the first of 20 games in Arizona. Next Thursday, Dodgers hosting the Chicago Cubs at noon. As usual, every single Cactus League game can be seen right here on Sportsnet LA. And then join us for post-game highlights and reaction on Access. Always fun to see the regulars get an at-bat, maybe 2. Then the prospects get their chance to shine at camp. It's Cactus League play getting underway next Thursday. Let's look ahead to the games that do count, though, the regular season, and some of the big storylines that impact the Dodgers. For the second straight year, Dodgers opening the season overseas in Asia after South Korea last year, DV. The champs are going to Japan, and this is going to be like Beatlemania when you get over there to Tokyo.
Or maybe traveling with a Swiftie crew, right? Maybe Ohtani's now the Swiftie. It's going to be amazing. Right there's the airport that we walked through in South Korea. I know there's already discussions about how to handle the crowd and the media as soon as they touch down. But I can tell you the vibe around the team is way more excitable than it was a year ago at this time, just because you want to see what it's like to be with Ohtani at the Tokyo Dome.
I cannot wait to see it, because the Dodgers, the world champion Dodgers, they're having a few guys, their heroes, coming back. Shohei Ohtani, obviously Yamamoto, Sasaki as well. And I'm anxious to see the reaction when they see the Big Show. May it be Michael Jackson-esque. Remember Michael Jackson back in the 80s and 90s, boy? He had people fainting when he performed or just stood there.
So did the Beatles back in the day.
Yeah, so don't ever compare Swift with the Beatles as well. So
I'm trying to bring it into modern times.
Anxious
I'm with
to see
two boomers here.
fans react to the Big Show.
All right, well, speaking of the Big Show, playing in Tokyo, it's going to be obviously a huge deal when he gets there, but he's not going to be on the mound for that trip. Jerry, another storyline, though, when he does return to the mound as a Dodger for the first time, likely in the month of May, that's going to be special as well.
It's going to be special. He was so impactful last season, obviously 50-50 MVP at the plate. Sometimes we forget that, guess what? He is an ace elite pitcher on the hill. Runs that fastball anywhere from 96 to 100 miles an hour. He's got great off-speed pitches as well. So I'm anxious to see him take the mound in Dodger blue, not just in May, not just in August, but in the playoffs. Hopefully the World Series as well.
That first game that he starts at Dodger Stadium, it's not going to be just another game. It's going to be an event.
Yeah.
That's going to be the hottest regular season ticket out there, including the Ice Cube bobblehead night. That will top
That's going to be a tough one to top right there, the Ice Cube bobblehead. Hard to check the secondary prices for that game. It started with pitchers and catchers. Position players will all be in by Saturday, and then you'll have the minor league guys, Jerry, showing up as well. It's about to be very crowded at Camelback Ranch, but what's the difference between Major League Camp and minor league camp?
Well, listen, they're both unique and they're both special, but Major League Camp is like going to Cabo, beautiful hotel, 5-star hotel. You get all the amenities. Minor League Camp, you got to earn it, okay? So it's more like a log cabin. You're going to work hard and hopefully one day get to Major League Camp to get all those amenities.
I've walked to the back fields, the minor league fields, and it feels like summer camp back there. And when you get to the big leagues clubhouse, it's like, come on, you, like Jerry described, you are in Fiji, you're at the 5-star hotel, but back there, it's like the Motel 6.
But that's how it should be, though. No, that's right. That's how it should be. Let me tell you something. Minor league camp
needs to be special.
Minor league camp now is way better than when I played in the 60s and 70s. Way better. So they get treated perfectly.
And plus, some of those minor league guys, we'll see them in some Cactus League games, so they'll get a chance to be on television, have Jerry break them down at some point at one of our post-game shows. We're taking the show on the road.
Road trip?
Sportsnet Dodgers live from Camelback Ranch.
There he is.
Friday, 6 p.m. Jerry and I will be joined by Bill Plunkett. We're going to break down all the day's top stories. We'll hear from some of the players. Always a great time to head out to the ranch, bring you the very latest from sites. That's Access live from AZ tomorrow at 6 p.m. here on Sportsnet LA. And after tonight's show, Jerry and I will be off to Arizona. We're going to tape our annual spring conversation interviews with the players there at Camelback Ranch. Jerry, give me someone you're really looking forward to seeing and talking to.
Well, listen, I've always gone there, John, you know this. I've tried to go and steal a uniform. I get kicked out, get escorted every single year, but I'm ready to interview the players. I'm anxious to see really just about everybody, but I want to see Sasaki. I want to see his nasty split. I don't know if I'll get a chance to interview him, John, because my Japanese isn't quite there yet.
Okay, he's got a translator.
He's got a translator, but I'm anxious to sit down with everybody and how they're going to defend their crown.
Well, and Devi, I know you're not going to be doing the Connected With interviews, but you'll be heading out this weekend. Who are you looking forward to seeing and talking to when you get out to Arizona?
That guy right there, Teoscar Hernandez. I love that guy. He's got such a great spirit about himself. He's just such an inclusive person. I can't wait to see Teoscar. And Hunter Fiducia.
You didn't mention Blake Snell. Not one
stunned
time.
right now.
Snell sent me the voicemail. He's changed.
Whoa.
Friction there in the bromance between David and
He's changed. He's a Dodger now, doesn't need me anymore. Okay, Snellzilla.
Well, I think people predicted that. It's only a matter of time before he gets tired of seeing you all the time, every day.
You said that.
For Kirsten, Jerry, and DV, I'm John. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow live from Arizona.
日本での熱狂をビートルズ並みと表現していましたが、前回の WBC 同様、とんでもない熱狂になるでしょうね。飛行機の離着陸をフライトレーダーでみんなで見守っていたのを懐かしく思い出してしまいました。まだ番組内では言及されていませんが、今年のシーズンが終われば次の WBC が待っています。本当に日々楽しみが増していくメジャーリーグから早くも目が離せませんね。カクタスリーグに日本人選手は出場するのか注目していきましょう。それでは次回の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。